November 2022, the world's third biggest cryptocurrency exchange vanishes in 72 hours. $8 billion of customer money gone. Not stolen by hackers, not lost in a market crash, just missing, as in nobody can find it. The man in charge? A 30-year-old in cargo shorts named Sam Bankman-Fried, who until about a week earlier had been on the cover of Forbes, on stage with Bill Clinton, and on the Super Bowl halftime ad next to Larry David. This is the story of how one frizzy-haired math kid built a $32 billion empire, convinced every billionaire on earth to write him a check, and then quietly stole more money than the biggest bank robbery in history, without ever once putting on pants. Let's begin. Our story starts at MIT around 2010. Imagine the most stereotypically nerdy kid you can possibly picture. Now add cargo shorts, unwashed hair, and the social skills of a houseplant. That's Sam. Both his parents are professors at Stanford Law School. He grows up arguing about ethics at the dinner table, which is hilarious foreshadowing, but we'll get back to that. After college, Sam gets a job at a place called Jane Street. If you've never heard of Jane Street, just know this. It's basically Hogwarts for math kids who want to make millions of dollars trading numbers on computers. And Sam is good at it. But after a couple of years, he gets bored. He wants to do something bigger, so he quits. Now here's where it gets weird. Sam doesn't say he wants to be rich. He says he wants to be rich so he can give it all away. He calls it effective altruism. Earn as much money as humanly possible, then donate it to save the world. Beautiful, right? It also sounds like the perfect cover story for a guy who's about to steal $8 billion. But hey, we're getting ahead of ourselves. In 2017, Sam notices something strange. Bitcoin is selling for one price in America and a higher price in Japan. Sometimes 10% higher, sometimes 30%. So Sam does the math, buy Bitcoin in America, sell it in Japan, pocket the difference. Print money, legally. He sets up a tiny office in a Berkeley apartment, names it Alameda Research, because apparently nothing says trust me with billions like a generic name with the word research slapped on the end. And he starts moving millions of dollars a day. Within months, he's rich. And the costume is on. By 2019, Sam has a small problem. His firm is making huge crypto trades, but the exchanges he uses are slow, glitchy, and full of fees. So Sam thinks, what if I just built my own? And here's where I need you to really pay attention, because this single decision is the entire crime. He builds his own exchange and calls it FTX. So now Sam personally owns a trading firm, Alameda, that makes massive bets on cryptocurrency, and the exchange, FTX, where everyone else comes to trade. In any normal market, this is flat out illegal. It's like owning a casino, owning the chip factory that prints the chips, and being the dealer at the blackjack table playing against the customers. All at once. In stocks, bonds, anything regulated, you'd be in prison just for suggesting it. But this is crypto in 2019. There are no walls, no rules, no referee, just vibes. FTX launches, and it explodes. The website is smooth. The fees are tiny. Customer service is actually polite. Within 2 years, FTX is one of the 3 biggest crypto exchanges on the planet, valued at $32 billion. And Sam becomes a god. Sequoia Capital, the most prestigious venture capital firm in Silicon Valley, writes him a check for hundreds of millions. They publish a 13,000-word essay on their website calling him a once-in-a-generation founder. They later quietly delete it. We'll get there. He testifies in front of the U.S. Congress like he's giving a TED Talk. He donates over $40 million to American politicians in a single year. He buys the naming rights to the Miami Heat arena. He flies to the Bahamas and starts hosting parties with Bill Clinton, Tony Blair, and Katy Perry. Tom Brady becomes a brand ambassador. Steph Curry signs on. Larry David films a Super Bowl commercial mocking everyone who doesn't trust FTX with their savings. Yeah, that ad aged like milk. And while all of this is happening, while the world is throwing crowns at this kid's head, there is one quiet little door, a door in the back, a door nobody is supposed to see, a door connecting FTX, where regular people deposit their life savings, directly to Alameda, Sam's private casino. And through that door, the money starts moving. Okay, let me break this down, because if you get this part, you understand the entire crime. Imagine 2 piggy banks. The first one is yours. You and millions of other people deposit money into it. The label on the front says, FTX, customer funds. It's supposed to be locked, untouchable, sacred. The second piggy bank belongs to Sam. He uses it to make insane bets on cryptocurrency. The label says, Alameda Research. What Sam did was simple. He drilled a secret tunnel between the two piggy banks, and he started quietly moving money out of yours, out of every customer's deposit, into his. When his bets won, great, he'd push some money back through the tunnel. When his bets lost, he'd just go grab more from yours. By mid-2022, Alameda had moved, or borrowed, if you want to be polite, around $8 billion of customer money. Billion, with a B. That's roughly 40,000 times more than the average American family makes in a lifetime. And here's the cherry on top. What did they spend it on? Buckle up. Private jets, a $50 million penthouse in the Bahamas, a house for Sam's parents, hundreds of millions in bizarre crypto investments that immediately went to zero, $40 million donated to American politicians, $35 million on Super Bowl ads to attract more customers, whose money they were already stealing. And the wildest part? It worked. For 3 whole years. Because here's the secret of every Ponzi scheme since the dawn of money. As long as more people keep putting money in, you can keep paying out the people who want to take money out. The hole stays hidden. But every single Ponzi scheme has one fatal weakness. Just one. It only works if nobody asks for their money back at the same time. And in November 2022, everyone asked at once. November 2nd, 2022, a normal Wednesday. A small crypto news website called CoinDesk publishes a leaked document. Just one sheet of paper. It shows that Alameda, Sam's trading firm, is holding a really weird amount of one specific cryptocurrency, something called FTT. Now here's the trick. FTT was a token FTX itself had invented. Stop and think about that for a second. It's like a casino that prints its own poker chips, calls those chips money, and then claims to be worth billions because of how many chips it printed. That's not an asset. That's monopoly money in a sharp suit. The crypto world reads this article, and one very important man reads it too. His name is Changpeng Zhao. Everyone calls him CZ, the CEO of Binance, the biggest crypto exchange in the world, Sam's biggest rival. CZ goes on Twitter, and he tweets, very calmly, "We've decided to liquidate our FTT tokens." That one tweet. That is the match. Within hours, panic spreads across the internet. People start to ask, wait, if FTX is built on a fake token, does that mean my money in FTX is fake too? And like a wave, customers all over the world rush to their phones and hit withdraw. $6 billion in withdrawal requests in 72 hours. And that's when FTX discovers the thing we already know. The vault is empty. The money isn't there. It's all been sitting inside Alameda's casino, and Alameda's bets have been losing for months. On November 8th, FTX freezes all withdrawals. On November 11th, Sam Bankman-Fried files for bankruptcy and resigns. One of the most valuable companies in crypto history, a $32 billion empire, gone in a week. And millions of customers around the world wake up to the same realization. Their money is just gone. Now here's the question everyone should be asking. How did this happen in plain sight? Because Sam Bankman-Fried wasn't hiding in a cave somewhere. He was on the cover of every magazine. He was on stage with presidents. The world's smartest investors had handed him hundreds of millions of dollars without even reading the contract. Sequoia Capital, remember, wrote that 13,000-word love letter calling him a once-in-a-generation founder. One of the partners wrote, and I'm quoting here, "I love this guy." Here's the real reason nobody saw it. Sam built the perfect costume. He wore cargo shorts to meetings with billionaires, so he looked like a quirky genius, not a fraud. He talked non-stop about giving all his money to charity, so people thought he was the rare ethical one in a sea of greedy bros. He famously played a video game called League of Legends during pitch meetings with investors. And the investors said, "I am not making this up. Wow, he's so brilliant, he doesn't even need to focus." Every weird thing this guy did made him look more trustworthy, not less. That was the trick. And here's the part nobody talks about. There were warnings. There were people inside FTX who saw the numbers. There were journalists who asked tough questions. There were rival CEOs, including CZ himself, who said publicly that something didn't add up. But the growth was so fast. The story was so beautiful. The vibes were so immaculate that nobody, not the regulators, not the auditors, not the senators taking his donations, wanted to be the one to ask the obvious question. "Sam, Where is the customer money actually kept? In March 2024, Sam Bankman-Fried was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. He's currently serving that sentence in California. His former girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, who ran Alameda, got 2 years for cooperating. His co-founder, Gary Wang, walked away with no prison time. His top engineer, Nishad Singh, got time served. As for the money, most customers eventually got most of their deposits back. Not because regulators were smart, not because Sam was honest, but because crypto prices happened to bounce back after the collapse. Pure, dumb luck. The biggest financial fraud of the century kind of got bailed out by Bitcoin going up. So what's the real lesson here? It's not crypto is a scam. It's not even watch out for math kids in cargo shorts. The real lesson is something much, much older. Something that has happened in every single financial scandal in the history of money. From Bernie Madoff back to Charles Ponzi, back to the Mississippi Bubble in 1720. Whenever one single person gets to control the money and tell the world how much money there is, it ends the same way. Every single time. Sam Bankman-Fried didn't invent anything new. He just put a fresh, smiling, cargo-shorted face on the oldest trick in the world. He was the cashier and the auditor, the casino and the chip factory, the bank and the regulator. And the wildest part? The whole world watched him do it, live, on stage, while he played video games. And we clapped. Because deep down, this was never really a story about FTX, or crypto, or even Sam. It was a story about what happens when the world wants to believe in a genius so badly that we forget to ask where the money actually is. A wise person once said, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes." If your brain feels a little rewired right now, good. That's the whole point of this channel. We dig into the strange, hidden corners of money, and we make them make sense. For anybody. So if you want more stories like this one, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.